First of all, I just want to say that I am so grateful that you come back to watch my videos every time you see a notification, or maybe you are even seeing this for the first time. I want you to know that I am so grateful that you are watching this right now, that you decided to give your time and your attention and your energy to watching what I have to say. Thank you for listening. If this is your first time, you should subscribe, by the way. I am so grateful. Thank you so much for allowing me to be one of your favorite creators, I hope. Thank you so much for listening to the things that I say. I see some comments of people who actually try out the things I say, try out the things I do. I remember a time that someone was like, they are currently watching my video with their own family, and it's a privilege to have a platform where I can share my thoughts, share the things I am learning, the things that I am practicing, the stories and experiences from my own life and from the things that I am observing in life generally, to just share that and have people actually listen, practice those things, and also be impacted positively. It makes me feel so fulfilled and just so happy, and I just want to express my gratitude before starting this video. This is just me saying thank you for watching this right now. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I really appreciate that. And so basically, what I want to explore in today's video is why it is important to gather knowledge, why we should never displace the place of gathering up knowledge. Because I hear people say things like, oh, all these young people, they just know things, they have not really experienced life. They just pride themselves in knowing stuff, and knowing stuff is not really a big deal. What really counts is how you are able to put those things into practice, yada 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 yada. I hear people say that a lot, and I just want to address that. I just want to share my thoughts on that. And I first had the idea to share my thoughts on this the day I had a conversation with the HR of the place that I was working at when I was in Ibadan. On this fateful day, I was given the privilege to make a presentation in front of the old staff, just teaching them in details as much as I can how they can leverage social media, especially as somebody that is working a 9-to-5 job. And then we were all still together after I gave the presentation. The HR, myself, and a few other staffs that are way older than me, and they were saying things like, they see all these young people where they just think they should just know stuff. They were like, a lot of young people will crumble in the face of challenges, will crumble in the face of difficult situations. So even with all the knowledge that we know, when we face something difficult, we don't really know how to take care of it and how to bounce back on our feet in a way that is healthy and sustainable. And they were like, especially within people that finish from private universities, because in state and federal universities, the students had to go through very difficult and challenging situations and circumstances. So they have been built to last in the real world. They have what it takes to withstand challenges and difficult situations and all of that, blah blah blah, that even with all the knowledge of the people that attended private universities, because they have not been faced with difficult situations, they don't really know how to navigate through difficult things in the real world. And so they were just saying so many things, but I was like, well, I don't agree, because using myself as an example, with the way I talk, with the way I present myself, I have been through this, that, and I am still standing. We have been through difficult things in this company together, and I'm still standing. Sometimes I even bring solutions to the table, right? So will you say that the knowledge of the things that I have is a waste, or will you say that it's not useful? And they were like, we're not talking about you. Your own is different. Even though you attended a private university, you have a mix of Boti and Jepaki. You are resilient, and you know how to talk, you know how to speak, you understand things better and all of that. And they were just saying all of that, and I said, well, that is because I know. That is because I prioritize knowledge. Because I know these things, whenever I face these challenges in real life, right, I know how to navigate them, And I said, well, I get their perspective. I get where they are coming from, that place of knowledge is not enough, right, until we put it into practice. But my argument that day is that being able to navigate through difficult challenges in life is not about attending a private university or a federal university or a state university. It is mostly about, it still comes down to the things that you know, right? For example, there are people who are in their 30s, who are in their 40s, and when they are still faced with something difficult, because they don't have a particular knowledge about life or about something or about someone or about people, they still don't know how to navigate some things. So this is not about age, it's not about the school you attended, right? Although yes, there's a way those things can kind of contribute to it, but it's not solely about all of that, right? It still comes down to what you know. So I was like, I believe that it is better for somebody to have the knowledge that they need, so that when they are faced by those difficult challenges, when they are faced with something hard, something that puts pressure on them, they will be able to rely on the knowledge that they have already gathered, and they will then know what to do by just pulling out of their knowledge bank, right? And they were like, well, you are right. And I was like, well, yeah, of course I'm right. So I just want to say that if you're somebody watching this and you're like, why should I be watching all this podcast? Why should I be gathering up knowledge that is all about personal growth, mindset, psychology, understanding people, understanding how to navigate through difficult challenges in life, when I'm not facing anything like that yet? Why should I be watching podcasts for hours, learning from people every day and all of that? Why should I be reading all this big book and all of that? If you're somebody who is thinking like that, then I want you to know that knowledge is still important. I know that we live in a world where it's like, oh, everybody's attention span is short, people just want to be entertained, they don't want to be educated, yada yada yada, and there's a level of truth to that. But I believe that to be able to live a life that is healthy, intentional, mindful and purposeful, then we need to learn. Especially as young people, we need to learn. We cannot despise the place of knowledge. We cannot just say, oh, I'll just get to learn it when I get to the stage. It's not about, oh, when I get to the river, I will cross it. There are things that we can learn from the experiences of people, from books, from podcasts, from deep, insightful posts that will help us to navigate through life better, that will help us to stand strong in the face of difficulties. There are so many things considered as difficult that I have gone through in my life so far, but I have been able to navigate through them and stand strong in them and still be able to share lessons from them, because I've learned a lot, because I have a depth of knowledge that I pull out from whenever I'm faced with those challenges. I've gathered a lot from the experiences of people, from books, from podcasts, from deep, insightful posts, from thought leaders, from psychologists, from philosophists, from mindset coach, doctors. I've gathered a lot from that when I am faced with some certain things in life, in my family, in my relationship, in my career path, I just know what to do, because there's a knowledge bank that I can pull from. So knowledge is important, right? So if you're watching this and you are considering whether you should spend hours on listening to podcasts, whether you should dedicate some of your time to reading books, why is it even important? Then I want you to know that, well, if you really want to build a life that is intentional and purposeful, a life that in years to come, when you are having conversations with your kids, for example, or the younger ones, for example, or even when you are faced with something in your own life, you know what to do, you know what to say, you know how to guide them, you know how to help them. If you want a life like that, then you cannot despise the place of knowledge, right? And there's this thing that I even believe that this, our own generation, everybody that is currently in their 20s, we cannot afford to despise knowledge. We cannot afford to be ignorant about so many things. I'm not even talking about politics. I'm not really talking about even entertainment. I'm saying that we cannot afford not to know about different beliefs, about different opinions of people. We cannot afford not to read books from experts. We cannot afford not to know things about how our mind works, right? How our body works. We cannot afford not to know all those things, because the world we are in right now is filled with so much that if we don't know for ourselves, then we will just be tossed to and fro by every wind of anything that we hear. And by the time we start giving birth to our own kids, we will not know how to direct them. We will not know how to guide them, because there's just so much happening in our world, happening around us, and there's still so much that will happen in years to come, right? So we can't afford not to know, because we don't want to be parents that cannot guide their child. We don't want to become full grown-up adults that doesn't know how to navigate through difficulties in life. We don't want to get to our 30s and our 40s and we're still being tossed to and fro by so many opinions and thoughts and ideas of so many people, right? We need to know for ourselves, so that when we are faced with difficult challenges or when we hear something, we are able to look inwards, we are able to reflect. We are open-minded, but at the same time we are aware, because we have also done our due diligence. We have also learned, we have also gathered a lot, right? So knowledge is still power. I know that people will say that applied knowledge is power, and that is so true, but I am saying that it is only what we know that we will be able to apply. Right? What you don't know, you cannot apply. Right? So it is better to gather knowledge. It is better to dedicate a large part of our time to learning, to growing, to developing ourselves, to developing our mindsets, so that when we are faced with difficult challenges, when we are faced with difficult questions by life, we know what to do, we know what to say, or at least we know where to go to. Or when we get older and our kids or our younger ones ask us some questions, we know what to respond with, or at least we know where to point them to. Because for me, knowledge has been a huge part of me being able to navigate life as peacefully as I can, in a very solid way. Knowledge has been a huge part of how I am able to sustain a healthy relationship with my partner for 7 years plus now. How I am able to find and hold on to the career path that I want for myself. Knowledge has been a huge part of how I am able to stay resilient in the face of life, difficult moments and situations. Knowledge has been a huge part of how I am able to walk into spaces and hold conversations with anybody, no matter their title, no matter what they have done, no matter what they have achieved. I'm able to hold conversations with them in a firm and respectful way. Knowledge is how I am able to know when to say no and when to say yes. Knowledge is how I am able to know what to change and what to continue doing. Knowledge is how I am able to live an intentional and mindful life. Knowledge is how I am able to know what I want for my life and what I don't want, and also know when to evolve and change things up, right? If I don't have the knowledge, if I don't open my mind to knowledge, then I will just be living life as a young adult who is not intentional about his life, who is mindless about everything that he does, who doesn't know where he's heading to, and I will just be tossed to and fro by any habits or anything that I hear from any friend, and I would just have no direction, really. So I am encouraging anyone watching this, or at least reminding you, that knowledge is still power. Yes, you should apply these things and practice the things you know, but when you open your mind to knowledge, to learning, to developing yourself, when you take some time out of your day to read books, to listen to podcasts, to watch YouTube videos like this one that you're watching right now, what you are doing is that you are making deposits of growth, you are making deposit of impact, you are making deposit of resilience, you are making solid deposits into your knowledge bank that you can go back to pull out from every time that you need it. You are making deposits into your knowledge bank that your future self will be thankful for. So I'm encouraging you, check your Instagram, check your YouTube feed, check even the things that you watch more on Netflix and the things that you give your ears and your heart and your eyes to. Curate them to have a healthy balance of things that will educate you, to have a healthy balance of things that you can learn from, things that will help you have solid deposits in your knowledge banks, right? So that your future self can thank you for it. Prioritize knowledge, prioritize learning, really, because knowing how to navigate through life's difficult challenges, knowing how to communicate, knowing how to present oneself, knowing how to get the job you want, knowing how to be in the places that you want, knowing what to do and when to do it, knowing when to say yes and when to say no. All of these things, it's not about the school you attended or the school you did not attend. Yes, the school can contribute to it, but it is more about what you give your heart to. It is more about what you learn. It is more about what is in your knowledge bank. What can you pull out when you need it, right? So that's just basically my encouragement and rant today. Don't despise knowledge. Keep learning so that you have something to pull from when you need it, and I even believe that for you that are watching this right now, you prioritize knowledge. That's why you're here. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any question. Let me know if you want me to explain something further in another video. Check out previous videos that you have missed. Just let's keep the conversation going in the comment section, and I will see you on the next one. And don't forget that it is possible to stay peaceful and sane even in this fast-paced, comparison-driven and anxiety-filled world. You just have to choose, and a way that you can choose a life that is peaceful and sane, just like I have presented to you today, is by investing in your knowledge bank, is by putting solid golden gems and deposits in your knowledge banks that you can pull from whenever you need them, and I will see you on the next one. Stay peaceful. If you have not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Stay peaceful. As I wake up, I will let no negativity enter my head. Nothing fit to come between me and my daily bread. All my side is green when others they say they red. Oh, head in my head. As I wake up, I will let no negativity enter my head. Nothing fit to come between me and my daily bread. All my side is green when others they say they red. Oh, head in my head, all I do is win, 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 win. Hey, hey, win, 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 win. Win, 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 win. Hey, all I do is win, 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 win. Yeah, oh, head in my head. Don't mind me, that's just my favorite song at the moment, As I Wake Up by Skills. Have you listened to it? Alright, stay peaceful. See you on the next one. Bye. Peace out.